All right, man. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Terrific Thursday here. It's a terrific Thursday. 1 second, guys. Hopefully, guys, everybody's doing well. I was looking for this particular quote. It came from Frederick Douglass. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to open this thing up. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, man. Wow, this is interesting. Okay. I did not know. This is interesting. A little Black history. Wow. Okay. Oh, we're going to look at that today. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Okay, cool. It ain't gonna never be no day. Yeah, conversation. All right, good morning, man. New Black Wall Street. Thanks so much for joining us here today. Today we're going to be talking about. We're going to look at the stock market today. Actually, we're going to do a stock market recap for you guys. Take a look, see what's going on in the market here on this tremendous Thursday. We'll also talk about this concept of if there is no struggle, there is no progress. There is no struggle, there is no progress. And I hope this helps us to actually level up on this morning. It's a great day to be alive. I'm so happy to be here. I thank God He gave me another day, another opportunity to live this life, to make a difference, to complete my mission. And I hope that you guys woke up on the right side of the bed this morning as well. Man, we're going to get right into this thing, man. I do not delay, do not hesitate, man. I'm trying to get a whole full hour of power up in here. Y'all know what time it is, man. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. Yeah. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
All right, my beautiful people, man. Thanks so much for joining us here today on the new Black Wall Street, the Black Money and Power Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, your certified financial educator and CEO of ERGJ Enterprises, ERGJ Black Bazaar, and international best-selling author of the book, The Black Billionaires Club. That book there is a study of Black wealth. That book there is a study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today and how they built their wealth. And I just truly believe, it's a belief of mine, that if you want to be wealthy, that's a big if, by the way, but if you do, I recommend that you study wealthy people. And I always do this little delay here, man. I should have made sure it went going before I tried it. We'll see if it come up. You know what I'm saying? Taking a little time. I know it's going to hit me as soon as I say something. I don't know. We're going to make it do what it do, though. But here's the deal, guys. You can check out the website at theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com to pick up your copy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. All right, my beautiful people, man. You can pick up the book by simply going to the website, theblackbillionairesclub.com. That's right, theblackbillionairesclub.com. Pick up your copy today of the Black Billionaires Club. Man, this book here is really a good study, man. You can begin your study of the 12 richest Black people in the world today by simply going to the website, picking up your book, and making it do what it do. Today's episode is being sponsored by ERGJ Black Bazaar, the Afrocentric marketplace, where we specialize in Afrocentric home decor, personal care, natural personal care products, and also Black art-inspired gifts. Check out the website at www.ergjblackbazaar.com. That's right, www.ergjblackbazaar.com. And while you're there, guys, it's getting cold. I mean, it is cold, man. You might as well check out our personal care section so you can go ahead and make sure that you keep your skin moisturized, man. We got the moisturizer, we got the raw shea butter lotion, we got your hand cream as well, 4 different types: African black soap, mango butter, lemongrass, and tea tree hand cream. Also the raw shea butter hand cream. Go ahead and check out the website at www.ergjblackbazaar.com. www.ergjblackbazaar.com. Make sure that you keep your skin your melanin popping right through the wintertime, man. Make sure you do that, guys. www.ergjblackbazaar.com. I want you to remember this, guys, that once you shop black, that's right, once you shop black, you never go back. That's right. Once you shop black, you never go back. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you, Mr. Justin Maurice. Top of the morning to your brother. Keith Nada is up in the house, man. Thanks so much for joining us. While you guys are joining, go and let us know where you're connected from, what city, what state, what country, quite possibly, you are connected from as well. We recognize we're broadcasting across the World Wide Web, and people are all over tuning in. We're going to say thank you so much for doing that. Let us know what city, what state, what country, what city, what state. We're broadcasting live here from Decatur, Georgia. That's right, Decatur, where it is greater. That's where we're broadcasting here for our virtual live experience from ERGJ Productions, okay? ERGJ Productions. I will say I got a quick announcement for you guys before we get right into our daily motivation for African-American success. Hey, ERGJ, I got a goal. That's right, I got a goal. And one of those goals is to get 1,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of the decade. That's right, or the end of the year, end of the decade. So you can help by making sure that you share that thing out. Let people know that we're doing a good thing over here at ERGJ Enterprises. We're currently at about 650 some odd subscribers. We're looking to get, that's what, 350 more. And I just believe that we're going to do it. So I'm not asking for much. And somebody said to me the other day, you don't ask for much. No, I don't ask for much. But when I do ask for something, I expect to get it, right? So go ahead and help us out there with letting people know that we exist and that we can make a difference in their life, man. Stonecrest, Georgia is represented. It's time, guys, for our daily motivation for African-American success. That's right, daily motivations for African-American success. And today's title is Holy Water. Today's title is Holy Water. Now, this comes out of a book written by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. That's right, Dennis P. Kimbro, one of the great authors, great African-American authors of our generation, of our lifetime, Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. And today's title is Holy Water. And here is our quote of the day. It comes from Ernesta Procope, the CEO of E.G. Bowman Company. Ernesta Procope, I guess that's a lady, not quite sure. And this quote says this: it is not so much what we know as how well we use what we know. It is not so much what we know as how well we use what we know. Everybody putting down, so use. And see, I say this all the time, and this quote is just right on point, that a lot of us are filled with knowledge. We got a whole bunch of information, but we don't tend to use it much. We don't tend to use it much. And that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is what you apply, and knowledge is what you know. And so great that you know. It's great that you know better. It's great that you are smart, great that you are intellectual, great that you have taken a library and filled your mind. But if you never use what you know, then you're really just like the person who doesn't know, because neither one of you is applying all this great knowledge that's available unto you. So that's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is what you know. Wisdom is what you apply from what you know. And how many guys would agree or be honest with yourself? Say, you know what? I could do a better job with applying what I know. Matter of fact, if you just think about it for a second, you say, man, if I simply applied all that I know, how much better would you be right now? How much better would your life be? How much more money would you be making? How much better greater would your health be if you simply applied? If you didn't learn anything else new for the rest of your life, and you simply applied what you already know, how much better would your life be? What you already know about health, and how much better would your life be? What you already know about wealth, how much better would your life be? What you already know about relationships, what you already know about life, what you already know about raising children, what you already know. If you were simply to apply all that you know. So this is why when people say something like this, if you know better, you'll do better, that's simply not true. Plenty of people know better, but only a few do better. Plenty of people mean well, but only a few do well. So the knowing is knowing, like G.I. Joe used to say. I used to watch G.I. Joe. Knowing is only half the battle. The other half of the battle is actually doing. This is where people tend to stop. Like, oh, I got to do something. Yeah, I mean, you went to church on Sunday. Now you know what the good book says. Now it's like, okay, go do what you just learned. Oh, no, I'm going to act like I'm going to forget it when I leave at the service. How much better? It's a great question. I see. This is why I keep saying every day you're going to hear me say this. When you start asking good questions, You start getting good answers. And when you take those answers and apply it to your life, you start to live the good life. Everybody put it on, so the good life. You start to live the good life. So, great question again to ask yourself. If I simply applied or I did all that I can with all that I currently know, how much better would my life be? Wow. Now that's called taking personal responsibility for your life. Not leaving it up to chance, not leaving it into the hands of others. That's called taking personal responsibility for your life. And it's your life. No one else can live it for you. It's your life. No one else can do it for you. It's your life. Why not live the best life? Your best life. Live my best life. Why not live the best life that you can? Why not? Here's our passage today, man. Let's get this motivation in, man. Daily motivation for African-American Salesman. Holy water. Let's get it. One of the greatest circulation systems ever designed is the natural recycling process of water. There's no new water on the planet. All there ever was is still here, only recycled. It goes through various stages, of course. It evaporates, clouds become saturated, and rain falls. The water you bathe in tonight could be the water that filled the tub of Martin Luther King Jr. The water you used to wash your car with last week may have contained the very same water that you drank as a baby. And the next bit of water you use may be mixed with the water to be consumed by those who will follow after us. There's no water shortage as far as the planet is concerned. By storing it and redistributing it inefficiently, we disrupt the natural evaporation process and thereby create circumstances that seem to indicate a shortage. But in reality, there's always enough. To open the valve of plenty, you can use the same system as a water faucet. Open the valve of plenty. Everybody put in console hashtag plenty. To get more water through the faucet, you simply open the valve by turning the handle in the proper direction. You remove the barrier that is stopping the flow, and you'll have all the water you need. The valve of plenty in you can be turned on by turning your thoughts in the proper direction, thereby removing the barriers that are stopping the flow. All the abundance you need is already there for use. Choose your direction. Now, this is such a profound passage here, guys, because how many guys know that it's like you come to a point in your life, you realize that you are the one that's in your way, that how you think and how you act and how you speak and how you walk has everything to do with how you live. And you come to a realization at some point in life, you're like, man, all this time I've been playing the blame game. All this time I've been pointing the finger at everybody else. I've been pointing at my parents. I pointed at my childhood. I pointed at my boyfriend. I pointed at my girlfriend. I had everything to say about how everybody else was treating me or treating me badly or treating me well. But I never talked about how I was treating myself. I never talked about the books that I read. I never talked about the people that I hung around. I never talked about the music that I listened to. I never talked about the shows that I watched. I never talked about what I was doing to me that stopped the flow. That was a barrier to my own prosperity. I never talked about that stuff because it's so easy to point the blame or point the finger at society. It's easy to point the blame at the government. It's easy to point the blame at racism. It's easy to point the blame at the system. It's easy to point the blame at the man. It's easy to point the blame at everything and everybody else except the man in the mirror. Now, all those other things that we are blaming, we can't control. But the one thing that we can control, self, we choose not to control. Now, isn't that interesting that you are your own barrier to your prosperity? And it's just simply a choice. You can choose to turn the faucet on at any point in time in your life. Black wealth is a black choice. It's a choice. It is a choice. And unfortunately, too many of our brothers and sisters choose not to. And in the midst of choosing not to, what they do choose to do is blame everybody else for their condition, for their situation, for their lot in life. How much easier is it to find a boogeyman? How much easier is it to find the ghost of Christmas Eve? How much easier is it to find some villain somewhere, some enemy, somehow that's keeping me from living my best life? It's got to be an enemy. And I believe we picked up this ideology from watching heroes and villains coming up. It's got to be, for every hero, there had to be a villain. Well, I want you to understand, beautiful people, this morning, that you are your hero. Everybody put in the console, I am my hero. You are your hero. So Justin, if you're still watching, if Kenyatta, if you're still watching, Ava Adams, if you're still watching, here's my question directly to you. When will you come to save the day? When will you come to save the day? Now, Kenyatta said, man, sometimes we're our villain. Most of the time, we are our own worst enemy, right? We are our own worst enemy. Whatever's going on up here, whatever, it's just so much we have to, our brains are so phenomenal. I mean, just so God, just such filled with such stuff. And we just poison it. We plant the type of seeds that don't bring us the type of harvest that we want. You want apples, you plant apple seeds. You don't plant oranges. We must begin to plant better seeds into the battlefield or to the field itself of our mind. This is where everything springs from. That's why the good book says something like this: guard your heart and your mind. Guard it. In other words, man, there is a lovely garden, Garden of Eden. And this garden, it must be protected. And not only are you your own hero, you must be the protector. You must be the guardian to guard your garden. Here's our affirmation of the day. Here's what we're allowed to take root to our subconscious, our heart. And then we can grow and develop this thing by repeating it over and over and over again until it brings forth a harvest into our life. Repeat after me. Let's get it. I will open the faucet of abundance. Yeah, real quick and easy today. Real quick and easy. Our affirmation today. Let's do it again. Repeat after me. I will open the faucet of abundance. Man, isn't it interesting that the good book talks about the land flowing? That's the faucet, flowing with milk and honey, with substance and fortune and prosperity and all that good stuff. It's a land flowing. But it requires you and I to get out of our own way. It requires you and I to turn on the faucet. It requires you and I to choose a different direction. It requires you and I to do something different than what we have been doing, because what we have been doing is put us into whatever situation we are currently in. If you like that situation, keep doing what you've been doing. If you don't like that situation, well, maybe it's time to change what you've been doing. Now, I believe that in order for you to change what you've been doing, you first got to change what you've been thinking. Because whatever it is, your predominant thoughts have caused you to the actions that you take. And those actions that you take lead you to the results that you get. So if you don't like the results, you got to take care of the actions. But in order to take care of the actions, you got to take care of the thoughts. In order to take care of the thoughts, you must protect the garden. Guard your heart and your mind. Now, if it tells us to guard it, that must mean that something's coming to attack. There's something somewhere. If the good Lord tells me to be on guard, there must be something at some point in time that's coming to attack. And we understand that the enemy comes to what? To steal, kill, and destroy. To steal, kill, and destroy your dreams. To steal, kill, and destroy your wealth. To steal, kill, and destroy your health. But you must be on guard, because why? You are your hero. And my question to your brothers and sisters this morning is, when will you come to save the day? When will you show up to save the day? Let's do this affirmation one more time for the people in the back, the people in the way back. This time we're gonna put a little umph into it. Make sure that they know we mean business. Repeat after me. I will open the faucet of abundance. That's right, man. I believe God wants you to be rich. But he wants you to want to be rich. And it just requires you getting out of your own way, becoming your hero, and saving the day. Daily Motivation for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Daily Motivations for African American Success by Mr. Dennis P. Kimbro. Well, guys, I want to take a quick moment and share with you guys, take a look at the stock market real quick. I haven't done this in a while, but I think it's important that we take a look at this for those who really don't understand this thing called money. I put up a portfolio earlier today. You can check it out on my Facebook page just to let you know it's real, okay? And this is one of those areas. It's not the only. It's one of those areas where people get rich. It's on one of those places where people build wealth, just basically investing in this thing called America, or investing in these wonderful in the economy, which is run by businesses which run America. And I had a lovely sister give me a call yesterday. She said, man, I've been thinking about this thing, looking at stuff on investing stocks. So I walked her through how to get to the first step. I said, here's what you do, your first step. Once you complete your first step, then you can call me back and we'll go to step number 2. Why did I do that? I said, well, hey, there's no point in me talking about all the other steps if you won't even do step 1. So that's how I operate. That's how I teach. You take care of the first step, then we'll get to the next step. Then we'll get to the next step. And the next thing you know, you are ready to rock and roll. But if you don't take the first step, there's no point in talking about the second step, the third step, the fourth step, fifth step, and all that good stuff. Can you do the first step? Can you take care of one task? If so, now we can work together because you're willing to actually put in the work instead of just get more and more knowledge that you don't use. Getting more and more knowledge that you don't use. Anyway, guys, we're going to come over to CNN Money. That's what we're going to look at right here, guys. We'll take a look at the stock market recap. When we come here, guys, you see this little Vanguard thing and all that stuff. That doesn't matter to me. What I'm going to do is click on this thing called markets, right? Boom, market. We're going to take a look at the market right here. And this is just going to be a recap of what happened yesterday on Wednesday, November 13th. This is the day that we're looking at on the 14th. Just kind of get an idea of what happened in the market. So we have 3 different indexes. And you see at the top here, one's called the Dow, the other called the NASDAQ, and the other called the S&P. So the Dow, right, is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Dow represents 30 of the most significant stocks in America. 30, just 30. So those 30 would be companies like Home Depot. Those 30 would be companies like Walmart, McDonald's, United Health Group, or something like that. So it's about 30. Apple, right? Nike. Right, so 30 of the most significant stocks in America, or 30 of the most significant businesses in America. And so an opportunity could be that you say, hey, I don't really know where to start, but I'll just invest in the Dow. It's 30, the top 30, right? We can call it the top 30. They represent different industries from insurance to retail to banking and all that stuff as well. But the Dow Jones was actually up 92 points yesterday. We see that 92.1, which represents 0.33% of that 27,783 points. Okay. So it was up, 0.33%. Not a huge, that's 92 points is all right for a day. But the NASDAQ, which is another index, which is really about like the technology index. NASDAQ houses all of like the technology companies. That's kind of where you're going to see most of them house that in the NASDAQ. It was actually down 3.99 points, which is not a big move at all. So it was about flat yesterday. The S&P 500, the third major index, is going to be where we find what we consider to be our benchmark. So the S&P 500, 500, it represents about 500 companies. And then those companies, because it's 500 versus 30, they consider the S&P 500 to be a greater benchmark in order for us to gauge our performance. So our performance would be something like you have in 401k. That's actually investing in the stock market. And you can track or compare how you're doing with your 401k and how you're doing with the increase of your 401k, if you have one, to the S&P 500. And you can say, well, hey, am I doing good, doing bad? How, I can take a look and see how I'm doing compared to something that's considered to be a benchmark. Okay. So just doing, okay, make sure it's coming up. So doing that real quick, a benchmark. Other than that, so it was actually down up 0.7%, up 0.07%, 2.2 points. Not a big deal there. So not much moving there. Now I came here earlier. It looks like it's going to change a little bit. So anyway, we have the gainers. Here's the top companies that were up yesterday: Advanced Micro Devices, SBA Communications. Here are companies that were down yesterday. Netflix was in there, down 3%. That's interesting as well. And then you come here to commodities, which will be things we absolutely use. Valuable resources. Oil was up 0.82%. Gasoline was up 2.66. So it's $2.66 for regular unleaded gasoline across the country. Gold's up to $14.68 per ounce. Silver's at $16.98 per ounce. So all of our commodities were up yesterday. And then we have sector performance, which is basically, it breaks down companies into sectors to be able to see where you might be interested. You might be interested in any of these, or you might be working in any of these particular sectors, from transportation to finance, communications, things like that. But every last sector pretty much in the stock market was up or has been up for the year. Okay. We can also take a look at currencies, which would be if you're traveling or if you're in foreign exchange. You can take a look at the rates of currencies in different countries: the Japanese yen, the British pound, the Canadian dollar. And then down here, what I really like to look at is going to be how stocks are doing in 2019. So although many of us do not like the president that's currently in office, how the presidency typically is rated is how did the economy perform while the president was in office. And I don't know about you, but although y'all might not like his antics, my money likes Trump. My money, which is I'm going to use to retire, my money, which I'm going to use to pass down to the next generation, my money actually likes Trump. Regardless of how I feel about the man, my money is saying good job. Because my money at this point, you look at the Dow's up 19% for the year. The NASDAQ's up 28% or 27% for the year. The S&P 500 is up 23%. Now, most of you will say, man, I like that. I like my money to be growing. I like my money to be increasing. I like that. And that's what your money is doing by itself. So your retirement account should be buffed up, right? Your mutual funds should be buffed up. Your insurance policies, which may be tied to the stock market, should be buffed up. I mean, again, we may not like who's in office, but our money actually likes who's in office. Now, begs the question, right? We got to understand who's in office. Well, Trump is a businessman. So, of course, if the economy is doing well while he's in business, that helps his bottom line. So he's not going to destroy his own businesses for the sake of running the country, because eventually he won't be running the country anymore. He still got to go back to doing business. Must understand who is running things, because here's the deal, guys. Again, regardless of how you feel about the man, the orange, or how you ever feel about 45, if you actually care about your money, if you care about leaving an inheritance to your children, if you care about getting out of debt, if you care about getting rich, if that is concern of yours, you realize that money is important. Then you're saying to yourself, man, I may not have known this, but man, good job when it comes to business, when it comes to money, when it comes to economics. And I can talk so much more about what people don't talk about when it comes to who's in office, because most people have no idea what's going on with money. So they only talk about the stuff that's emotional. They only talk about the stuff that that annoys them. But very few people come from the angle, well, how has your money done since 45 been in office? Well, I guess that also would ask the question, well, have you been participating in this increase? Everybody putting comments on increase. Have you participated in this increase? Are you even in the game? The money game. The game that many of us know we need to be in at some point. See, again, we know we should do it. We know we should be in it, but are we doing it? Are we using what we know? And if you don't know, are you taking a class so you can know? Oh, classes, by the way. Yeah, I do offer a class that'll teach you about how to invest in the stock market. That's something that you can get right off my website if you wanted to learn. Sometimes I do the class live, but I don't really do it live anymore. But you can learn. You can join the Black Billionaires Club if you like to learn, right? So many of us know, but most of us don't do. And then we use the excuse of not doing because we don't know, when all we got to do is actually go to a class to know or to learn what we don't know. See, this is why I have really no sympathy for these excuses anymore. Because you choose not to do. You use the excuse that you don't know, so that's why you don't do, but yet you could, if you wanted to, go learn what you don't know. That is a choice. Now, many of us have used our money in other ways other than to learn what we don't know so that we can do what we know we should do. Well, how's that working out for you? How is that working out for you? Good morning to you, Instagram. Now, the market itself is currently in a state we call the sentiment, where there's extreme greed in the market, which means that, hey, everybody's buying up stock. Now, if you understand a simple philosophy, which comes from my mentor, Mr. Warren Buffett, who says this: be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. So this is no different than like real estate. Where real estate, you get the property for cheap. You might do some rebuild or whatever the case may be, develop it, and then the property and the land around it and the community around it gets more valuable. And then you go sell that joint, you make some money. It's no different than stocks. You buy it cheap, right? You buy it for undervalue. This is one philosophy or one strategy. And then you wait till everybody else sees the value. And then when they get greedy on that stock or whatever, that asset, you go sell it and you get rich. And then you rinse and repeat. It's no different. But the issue with us is that all we know or all we hear or all we can really understand or want to understand is real estate, which that's one way to get rich. But I'm telling you, there's another way that doesn't involve having to go out there and look at property and go buy something and then go redevelop it and all that stuff. Now, I do it all. Don't just stop with one. Have multiple streams of wealth. Let's get to that. Everybody putting down on multiple streams of wealth. This is different. See, we talk about multiple streams of income, which I can teach you that as well. I want you to have multiple streams of income, right? So that you can actually increase your capital. You can then use your capital to go build wealth. So there's two things I promote, right? Get rich and get wealthy. I think those are two different terms, two different philosophies, two different thoughts when it comes to this. Get rich, get wealthy. I think you first got to get rich. I think you first have to have so much money coming in, so much income coming in that you ain't got to worry about your bills no more. You got what we call discretionary income, and then you go use that income to your discretion. Now, most people, they got bad money habits. So they use their discretionary income to go broke, although they're making plenty of money. Now, we can say making plenty of money because in our community, we understand, or we've heard this term, we got $1.7 trillion of spending power. And boy, do we spend. Would you agree? I mean, we spend. We spend like there's no tomorrow. We live like that. We say, man, I might not be here tomorrow. Somebody will spend all that I got today. So that's our discretionary income. That's what we're choosing to do with our income. That's a choice. It was a choice to go buy the Gucci bag. It was a choice to go buy the most expensive car. It was a choice for the house that you chose to live in. Those were choices. It was a choice to have the biggest cable package and you only watch 2 channels. That's a choice. It was a choice to have the highest speed internet and you ain't doing no streaming. You don't need it. It's a choice. These are choices. No, white supremacy did not put a gun to your head and tell you to make that choice. Racism did not put a gun to your head and tell you to make that choice. None of these things that we point to as to why we might be broke, busted, and disgusted told us to make these choices. We made these choices ourselves. And these same bad money habits that we know that we got, we pass them down to our children. Now then we'll say, well, hey, they're not teaching financial literacy in school. That's not a good excuse. Why? Because if you wanted to learn it, you would, just like anything else that you wanted to learn. You wanted to learn how to shop, you learn how to shop. You want to learn how to cut coupons to save, you learn that too. There's absolutely nothing in this world that if you wanted to learn it, you couldn't. Would you agree? Let me say that again for the people in the back. Is there anything in this world that if you really wanted to learn it, there would be something stopping you from learning? You can't say your age because you can learn at any age. We got people doing it at 99 years old going back to get their degree if that's what they wanted to do. So we can't blame society. We can't blame the lack of a system. We can't blame any of that stuff other than we choose not to do it. The knowledge is available. Would you agree? You go to a public library, it's free. Would you agree? So what's stopping you from learning what you don't know in order to grow in this life and live the life that you want to live? Now, Malcolm X, he said it like this. He said that knowledge is the passport. He's basically saying that all you got to do, same thing that I did when I was in jail. I went and I started learning all that I could. Let me ask this question for you guys that are watching us live here today. When did you stop pursuing knowledge? When did you decide that you have learned enough? When did you, and when you said that, when you decided that subconsciously, if you didn't even really realize that, dang, I ain't really learned nothing in like 5 years. I ain't really learned. I mean, I've noticed some things, I perceived some things, but I ain't really like learned nothing. In 10 years. It's from 2010 to 2019. It's going to a new decade. In this whole decade, I ain't learned nothing new. I'm still doing the same thing. I'm still operating with the same mindset. I'm still operating under the same knowledge. I'm still operating under the same temperance or self-control. I'm still operating like it's 2010. And we about to hit 2020. When's the last book that you read? Right? When's the last time you went to an educational or you listened to an educational audio or something like that? You see? See, my mentor, one of my other mentors said it like this. He said, formal education. Now, formal education, what's that? That's what you are, that's what you have to do. That's like, not have to, but that's what they promote. That's what's promoted in the world. Like, hey, we're going to give all of society an opportunity to learn based upon our system. And it's going to be a system where you go in and sit with 30 other students. You sit in this class, you sit in this cubicle, we getting you prepared for work for the rest of your life. We getting you prepared for slavery. We're getting you prepared to take orders. We're getting you prepared to learn that the only thing you need to do in order to actually make a living, which is not really a whole lot, is all you got to do is learn how to repeat. You need to learn how to memorize, right? And you need to learn how to do what I tell you to do. Right? There's really no critical thinking in school. I breezed through elementary and high school just basically off of memorization. All I had to do was memorize what was written on the board. I could come back. I have a photographic memory, and then I could come back and could regurgitate what was written on the board. There was no critical thinking there for me. But it wasn't until I got out of this formal education where I learned how to earn a living. And I started going into a space where I had to teach myself whatever it is that I wanted to learn. I taught myself about money. I taught myself about the stock market. And I could teach myself about real estate if I wanted to. Right? When I got to this space, I taught myself how to run a business. I taught myself how to update my website. I taught myself. My mentor said this. He said that self-education, everybody put in console self-education. The things that you and I decide to learn on our own without having to be instructed to say, this is the curriculum that you're going to get. He says self-education will make you a fortune. Now, at the time, I didn't understand. I said, well, what the hell is self-education? I ain't never done that before. I mean, all throughout my adolescence, I have gone to somewhere and they told me what they was going to teach me and I had to learn what they wanted to teach me. He said, yeah, that's great. That puts you in a position that you can earn a living. But there's so much in this world that you could choose to learn whatever the hell it is that you want to learn. And then you can use what you learn, you can use that knowledge, apply it, turn it into wisdom, and then bring value to the marketplace, and you can build a fortune. And then he said, guess what else my mentor said? He said, if you decide to do that, nobody can stop you. No one can stop you from learning what you want to learn. No one. No one can stop you from learning what you want to learn. And then he said this, and then think about this. Once you learn it, it's yours. No one can take it away. It can't be stolen. Once you learn it, it can't be stolen. So once you learn how to get rich, how many guys know that that's something you got to learn? It's not something that you fall into. It's not something that you just wish and hope for. It's not something that the genie in lamp is going to give you a third wish. It's something you have to learn how to be rich. Now, here's the deal. Many of us have learned how to be poor. We've learned that. That's a learned behavior. We've learned how to be poor. We've learned how to spend more than we earn. We've learned how to borrow and not lend. We've learned how to be poor, how to be broke, how to be frustrated, how to be disappointed. We've learned this stuff. All I'm saying is, at any point in time in your life, you can choose to learn something new. I believe you can teach an old dog new tricks. And one of those tricks, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled, was convincing the world that it didn't exist. One of those tricks, one of those things that we learned that we were taught not to talk about was money. Don't talk about how much you make or earn per hour. Don't talk about your allocations and your 401k and what you're doing to build wealth. Don't have these conversations. But it's okay for you to have conversations that will still kill and destroy your bank account. Yeah, have those conversations all you want. I mean, go on lunch, go with your homies. Y'all just talk about all the stuff that you don't like about life. Just keep on doing that. Just keep on having idle chatter, because we understand it leads only to poverty. Matter of fact, you read it in the book too, but you still don't understand it, so you just keep on doing it. So yeah, y'all can talk about that all day long. Y'all can go kumbaya on misery and poverty. Just think about it for a second. Wow, all my life, very few black folk in my life have conversations about money. Didn't happen at the kitchen table. Didn't happen at Thanksgiving. We got Thanksgiving coming up. Is anybody at Thanksgiving going to talk about money with the family? Is anybody going to be bold enough to say, you know what? Every Thanksgiving we get together. We finally bring the family together. And it's great to hug you and love you and see. I ain't seen you so long. And I know the football game going to be on. I know we're going to eat some turkey. I know we're going to probably play some spades. I know we're going to do all of that. But is this the year that we're going to talk about family business? Is this the year we can finally talk about how we're going to level up and make sure we leave a legacy to our children's children while we got all the children around? I mean, I got my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson. We got everybody here. But the one thing that we all know that we need, we never talk about as a family. We'll talk about what Pookie and Nene and them doing. We'll talk about the people that's in jail. We'll talk about the people that passed away. But we don't talk about one of the very things that's needed in every family. What the hell we going to do about this thing called money? And what the hell we going to do about this family business if we got it? And what the hell we going to do to make sure we leave a legacy that our name goes down in history? The family name. The same way that the Waltons have done it. The same way that the Mars brothers have done it. The same way we know some of the kings have done it. What about your family? What about your legacy? What about your last name? Will this world put some respect on your last name? Will this world still talk about the Grants when Peter Grant is no longer here? Will the world still be talking about what the Addams family has done when Ava is no longer around? Will the world still be discussing, man, that Thornton family, oh my goodness, look what difference. Look what contribution they made, man, and it's still going. Will this world still have a space for the Goodrich family? It's like, man, not only did they have a great last name, they were good and rich. sometimes change really does start at the kitchen table. Sometimes change really does start at the kitchen table. And what I found is that many of us are simply not bold enough to say, you know what? I mean, can we just cut the TV off for a second? I got something I want to talk about. I've been holding this in for years. We ain't never, ever had a discussion, a family business discussion. And I like to lead it just to see if we can actually just talk about what we're going to do as a family to make sure that none of our family members are ever begging for bread. I never seen the righteous forsaken nor a seed begging bread. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Great question to ask this morning. That's the stock market recap, man. What's going on? My Pretty Steve, man. Pretty Steve said, man, formal education is a joke. College education does not provide any real skills to make any real economic survival skills at all. Self-education. Good morning to you. I'm in Brockton now to see my daughter. Absolutely fantastic. Peter Grant said, man, I never stopped pursuing knowledge. I just didn't continue in the school system. Absolutely, man. And there's some places, man. There's so many occupations that make over $75,000 to $100,000 a year without a college degree. These are called trades, which everybody needs. You want to know how much a plumber makes? Electrician makes? A carpenter makes? A mechanic makes? A barber makes? Let's not, man. I'm telling you, we've been fooled. It's been a complete joke. And it's all about, we know what it's all about. We know it's all about the money, right? The root of all evil is the love of money. And I know some of y'all just don't get it because y'all are so brainwashed to believe that a society that was not built for you is actually good for you. Think about that for a second. A society that was built on your back actually has your best interest in mind? Hell no. Let me say that again, because I don't think that people really get it. A society that was built off of your ancestors' backs really has your best interest in mind? Are we really that stupid? So everything that's been created by this society, it's not for me. Now, it doesn't mean that I can't use it. I just must understand that it's not for me. But if I understand that and I say, well, how can I use it? Then we get to a place where we start to say, you know what? I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to learn how to leverage whatever it is that was created to be against me. Because why? Because greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world. So if I just use the power that's in me, I can turn anything that the world has created into my good, right? Because all things work together for my good. This is what I'm saying. So although it might have been meant for my bad, I can still use it for my good. Because why? All things work together for my good. This is some good stuff. And I hope it's waking up people. It's waking you. See, when we start to do this, we start to think. Like, not just go with the flow, hell no. Not just go with the motions, hell no. I'm going to think. I'm a thinking man. You're a thinking woman. You use the tool that's between your two shoulders. You begin to think. And guess what happens when you begin to think? You start to come up with better questions to ask. You start finding new places to search. You find new doors to knock on because you're critically thinking about where you want to go and how the hell you're going to get there. And that, the hardest part for many people is just deciding where they want to go. Once you do that, now you start asking good questions. Well, how do I get there? Who do I need to talk to? Who's the best person to help guide me along the way? I mean, I know where I want to be. Now I just got to figure out how to get there. I'm going to tell you, that makes it so much easier. When all you got to do all day long, listen, I'm telling you, when I was in a space where I didn't want to be, I didn't sit there and thinking about all the stuff that I didn't like. what I started thinking about, all I thought about all day long. And I'm telling you, I put it to the test. I was like, all right, you said ask and I'll receive. You said search and I'll find. You said knock and the door will be open unto me. That's what you said. Well, I ain't really tried the asking yet. So I started asking. I haven't really tried the searching for yet. So I started searching. I didn't really try knocking on doors yet. So I started knocking. And guess what happened? I'm telling you, all day long I was asking. All day long I was searching. All day long I was knocking or calling or texting or whatever, right? And guess what happened? All the stuff that he said would happen, happened. People started calling back. People started answering my questions. People started opening doors. And I did not realize that all it took was for me to take some initiative to say, this is where I want to go. And damn, I'm gonna at least take the first step. At least I'm gonna ask. At least the first step, at least I'm gonna look a little bit. I mean, you searching online all day. What the hell are you looking for? Think about that. You scroll down the timeline on Facebook. You scroll down the timeline on Instagram. You scrolling through all these different things on YouTube. You scrolling. My question to you, beautiful people, what are you looking for? Because I want you to understand this day, that whatever the hell it is that you've been looking for, either consciously or subconsciously, you have found. A lot of you guys have been looking for drama, and you find it. A lot of you guys look for stuff that's repulsive, and you find it. A lot of you look for sexual things, and you find it. A lot of you look for weed, and you find it. You are finding exactly what your spirit is looking for. You find it. And it's very interesting when you think about it. You say, well, wait a second. If ERGJ posts something that has to do with building wealth or getting rich, very few people respond. You know why? Because very few people are actually looking to get rich or build wealth. But if ERG posts something about love and relationships, ERG posts something about how black women are goddesses or black men ain't shit or whatever, guess what? We get a whole bunch of response. Why? Because that's what people are looking for. And they just won't be honest with themselves. You know what? This whole time I've been looking for drama. I like drama. This whole time I've been looking for comedy. I like comedy. This whole time I've been looking for dysfunction. I like dysfunction. Well, I like to watch it. I don't necessarily like it in my life, but I don't realize because I like to watch it, it seeps into my life. You see, we find what we're looking for. And most people simply won't be honest with themselves and tell us, I've been looking for anger. That's why I'm angry, because I want to find other people that's angry, because misery loves company. I don't want to be angry by myself because I ain't got nobody to be angry with. But you won't be honest with yourself. And look at the results. Look at what you've been getting out of your life. And you won't be honest and tell yourself and be honest with yourself. You know what? It might be a little bit of a thorn in my side. And I might not have really realized that that's actually what I wanted. It does something for me. It gives me a little spruce. It gives me a little sensitivity. It gives me a little spike. It brings me a little a spark. I actually like this. I don't know why I like this, but I kind of like it. I mean, I watch Power. I watch stuff like Scandal. I watch stuff that when you think about, why am I watching Scandal? Do I want scandals in my life? But I actually like it. But I won't watch the stock market. I won't watch real estate. I won't watch anything that got to do with building wealth. I won't watch anything that's got to do with leaving a legacy to my children's children. I won't watch any of that stuff because it's boring and I don't like it. See, I have fun making money every day. I have fun getting rich. I have fun building wealth. I have fun helping other people to do the same. That's my joy. I make a game out of it. I put down the Madden. I picked up the stock market. I put down the drugs and I picked up to smell good. I just transferred what I consider to be fun. Maybe it's a part of maturity. I don't know. But you can literally tell. I mean, just think about it. Every time you go on Facebook, just look at what everybody else is liking. You'll be like, damn, this post that went viral. This post, which is filled with nudity of a girl shaking her ass. This is what people like. This is what they want. And guess what the world does? Guess what society does? Guess what white supremacy does? They keep giving black folk what they want. Y'all want chicken? Popeyes. Y'all want some pretty girls shaking their butt in a movie? That's what you get. Yeah, y'all like alcohol? Okay, we're gonna put one on every corner in your community. Y'all like fast food? Okay, we got that too. Y'all want everything that's gonna kill you? No problem. We're gonna put that in your community too. That's why when you go to the black community or the south side of town versus the north side has decided they want something different. They say y'all ain't gonna bring that mess up here. Nah, it ain't gonna be. If it do come, they're gonna have to pay so much money just so they can conform with the structure. You know, like you ever seen? I went to Aldi the other day, and it's very funny. I went to Aldi. Y'all ever heard of Aldi? When I go to the Aldi, I'm in Atlanta. I go to the Aldi on Flakes Mill, which is like in Decatur. That Aldi I'm comfortable with it. But that Aldi is like the first Aldi ever built, it seems like. I went down the road to Aldi on Memorial Drive. Now, Memorial Drive is very interesting. It's right on Memorial and Columbia Drive. On one side of Memorial is what they consider to be Avondale Estates. This is where the rich white folk live in Decatur. On the other side of Memorial is where black folks stay. It's the one street. Now, this Aldi is on the right side of Memorial Drive. When I went into that Aldi, I was like, what is this? It looked like a real supermarket. I mean, the tile was all nice. They had stuff like organized. They had no boxes in the middle of the road or the walkway. I was like, damn, they had like 5 aisles. They had all the checkout people were checking out. I said, what the hell is this? And then I realized, wow, this is where white folks shop. That's what I realized. Now, it's in Decatur. It's just on the right side of Memorial. But it's a place where white folk go shop. And right across the street is where, if you walk right across the street, you got the old Kroger, you got all the Chinese places, you got a strip mall or strip area that's impoverished. You got an area that people are moving out. You know what I'm saying? You got vacant space. But right across the street, where the white folk are, it's glamorous. You got the Aldi, you got the Zaxby's, you got the new Walmart. And I'm like, wow, this is just across the street. One space, Avondale Estates, rich area. Across the street, not down the block, not 5 miles down the road, across the street, broke black folk. You understand what I'm saying? The only difference is that they demand a different level. They demand a different level. They won't stand for it. You know, if y'all gonna be in our community, it's gonna be top notch. In our community, we say, give us whatever you got left. We don't care as long as you come. If it is to be, it's up to me. It's us. We have to make the change. We have to command the best. Or don't shop there. In the comments below, I'd like you to share something that you learned today. Something that you learned today. I don't do this just to do this. I do this to make a difference and hopefully made a difference in your life today. This is a Black Money Power Show. Instagram, we're going to lose you, Mr. Thornton. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to lose you about 20 seconds. I think you wanted a book. If you want a book, let me know. I inboxed you. Make sure you respond to that. I do have about 5 copies left of Greatest Salesman in the World. What'd you learn today? Was this worth your time and why? I'm telling you, black people, it's up to us. We have to decide that we want better. And it can't just be lip service. It then has to move into action, showing the world that we will take no less than the best. Literally across the street, one side, prosperity. The other side, poverty. It's like it's like you ever been somewhere, you driving, and it's like dry. It's like no rain over here. And then you cross the street, it's pouring down rain. You're like, wait a second. How's the rain only over here? Let me go back and let me go in reverse, and I'm dry over here. It's sunny over here. Then I drive over there across the street. It's raining cats and dogs. That's how it looked. That's how I felt. I was like, wow. Over here, the poverty side, is raining cats and dogs. Over here, across the street, it's sunny, it's bright. I mean, it's like, wow. Can I say, man, Moreland shopping and it looked terrible. Oh, Moreland, is there audio on Moreland? Yeah, there is. Is there? I think what you talking about down by the what? I don't know. I think you're talking about down by the Target. They said because they do not settle for any. They do not. They will set. I'm telling you, you get some bad service in a white area. You get some bad. See, they only do it to black folk. If you get some bad service in a white area, they will shut you down. You will be out of business like in a week. They do not play. I'll tell you, they do not play. You will be out of business. They move like that. Oh, y'all, that's how y'all go by. And I said, I learned you attract what you are, so you got to change you to attract better. Peter Grant said, man, self-education will make you wealthy was the biggest jewel you dropped today. Vivian Reed said, getting rid of this, we will just accept the crumbs that we're given so that we don't have to level up. Well, beautiful people, man, I want to say thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode. Y'all know it's time to get up, to get out, and go get something. I'm your boy, ERGJ, your certified financial educator, founder of the New Black Wall Street. And I want you guys to remember this, that it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, people. Matter of fact, we all we need. And thank God, that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is. Mr. DJ, hit the music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.